Hi, everyone. Welcome. Hi, welcome to the show. This is My Baby Experts, and we are here for another Wednesday night. So excited to see all of you. Oh, Lucky's excited too. We are so excited to be with you guys. All right, come on over, Lucky. He wants to say hi. Let's let everybody jump on because we have a great show for you tonight. And I have one of my favorite people, my favorite guests, my favorite partners here in the chat with us tonight. I have Hannah from Love to Dream, and she is the inventor of the amazing Swaddle Up, the amazing products from Love to Dream. There we go. There it is. The Swaddle Up. Yay. Everybody's excited. Everybody's joining us right now. Hi, guys. Yes. Hi, everyone. Oh, my goodness. Okay, so we had an incredible amount of RSVPs tonight. I hope you are all enjoying getting your little instant messages. It's like me coming in and saying, hey, don't forget, tonight we're doing our live stream. Do you guys like getting your messages? I hope you do. Yeah, and we have something really fun we're going to do tonight, so just hang on and I'm going to show you how to do it. But yes, welcome to the My Baby Experts show. So just for a second, because we have so many new people, and I have not been live with you guys probably in like over 2 weeks. I miss you so much. But there's so many new people to the show. I just for a moment want to, and to the page, to this Facebook page, I want to take a moment and just introduce myself. For those of you who don't know me at this point, my name is Shari Criso, and I'm a registered nurse, a certified nurse midwife, and an international board certified lactation consultant. I've been taking care of mommies and daddies and babies for over 27 years in just about every capacity, and I've delivered over 600 babies in my practice, and now we get to spend our time with you all the time to be able to bring you great education, information, and to create this amazing, beautiful community of all these wonderful people that I see jumping in the chat right now. I get very distracted, but just wanted to take that for a moment. And now I want to introduce my guest. Sitting to the, let's see, what are you seeing? You're sitting to the left of me is Hannah. Hi, Hannah.
Hi.
Hi, welcome back, welcome back.
Thank you. It's so good to be back.
Yeah, it's been a while. I can't even believe when I look back to see when the last time you were on with us, it was like March. And I thought, oh my God, where did the year go? It's crazy, but I'm so happy to have you with us.
Thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be back, and the year has flown.
Absolutely.
And for all
And
those
it's
new
been a great
mummies
year.
out there,
What?
for all those new mummies out there, I'm sure, or mommies,
Yes,
as you guys
mommies,
say.
the mommies, yes. Well, let's just explain. So Hannah's in Australia. Thank you, Internet. Thank you, Facebook. Thank you, technology. Tonight I'm actually thanking technology so far because we are able to do this. It's like, it just makes the world so much smaller, it makes us all so much closer to be able to stream in with you all the way from Australia. So thanks for doing this. My goodness.
That's wonderful. Look,
Yeah.
it's warm here.
It's what?
It's warm.
It's
The weather
warm.
is warm.
Well, you're actually in Thursday now. We're still in Wednesday. It's like 1 o'clock
Yes,
in the afternoon over there. So
yes.
we're just covering all of our bases tonight. And we've got people from all over the world actually joining us in the chat room. So while we're talking about where we're from, I want to make sure we find out where they're from as well. So go ahead and post for us. Tell us where you're from tonight. I just love seeing everybody from literally from all over the world. It's amazing. It's just amazing. Yes, they're all going to be posting. Okay, fantastic. So Hannah, before we started tonight, we were talking about just Love to Dream and how and what an amazing brand you've created, what an amazing gift you've really created for so many moms and dads all over the world. And I just want to have you take a moment to just tell us about yourself and about the company. And there's so many of your fans in the audience right now watching, and then others that are fans and they don't know it yet.
Well, yes, I'd love to. Well, I want to start by saying that I am a mum, just like you and just like everybody in the audience. And 9 years ago, I had a beautiful little baby boy who did not sleep for more than 45 minutes at a time. And I know that a lot of your audience members can relate to that. And it was a really, really tough time for me, for my husband. And anyway, so I would swaddle my son the way traditional swaddles are taught to mums when they have a baby, to swaddle their arms down or by their sides and wrap like a little burrito. And I found that he would escape through the night. His arms would come out and the wrap would actually unravel. And it would be really, really dangerous. I would find that the wrap had gone, or the receiving blanket was up over his face when I would go and check on him during the night. And it was just a really, really stressful time. And I got thinking that he doesn't sleep with his arms by his side. No human being actually sleeps with their arms bound to their body.
Right.
We sleep like this or like this, hugging our pillow. So why would babies be any different?
Right.
So I started Googling and researching, and 97% of babies sleep on their backs with their arms up here. If you Google sleeping babies, that's what you'll find. So I created this product. And you see, it's the baby's arms are up, and then they're swaddled all nice and tight through the torso and nice and loose down here, so that the hips and legs have their proper movement, no restriction to their movement.
Yeah.
And what happened was, so I made a couple of samples, sewed them, and I gave them to two friends. And I said, just let me know how you go. And they both rang me in the morning and said, you're not going to believe this, but my baby slept through the night. Both of them.
Amazing.
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 And so that was when I thought, okay, I've got an idea.
Yep.
And then I started researching why they sleep better. So there's two reasons. Number one, swaddling is medically proven to help babies sleep. So wrapping up a baby tight, but not too tight, is soothing and helps them sleep for longer periods of time. But the crucial thing about the arms up is the arms up is a baby's natural sleep position, but it also allows them to rub on their cheeks and put their hands to their mouth and suck. So it's like the baby has a natural pacifier.
Yes.
They're able to suck on their hands and rub their cheeks, which is soothing, additionally soothing to just the swaddling effect.
Yes. Absolutely. We're going to get so much into that, and I want everyone to see the product, and I want them to see the difference between what it means to swaddle up and the ease of this product and what it looks like for the baby, and just in a comparison to a regular swaddle, so they can understand what we're discussing. Then I want to go through these points in more detail, because I think it's really important for people to understand what that means to self-soothe and why that works, like you're saying. So we're going to go through it. And anybody who's in the chat, who has one of the Love to Dream products, whether it's the original Swaddle Up or the 50/50, or even the older child products like the Nuzzlin and the Inventa. It just takes children all the way through 3-4 years old, right, up to 4. Yeah, I mean, if you have one, I just want to hear from you in the chat room. Go ahead and post and let us know what you think. I'm going to go ahead and play the video real quick. Hold on here. So now we get to see my technology skills. All right, so let's do this. Okay, here we go. Oh my goodness. So great. I don't know what happened here. Hold on one second. I want to make sure it's working. I heard like a double sound, so I just want to make sure that it was working. The video was working for everyone. Okay. I think it might have stopped in the middle there. I don't know. I hope not. I hope not.
It was good for me.
It was okay? Okay. All right. Well, we have that video right onto a link here where you all went to register for the prizes tonight. And so you can all watch the video there as well. But that was great. It really shows that side by side. I always love watching that, and because it's really true. When you look at the one where they're struggling to actually swaddle, it's hard to keep a baby's hands inside that swaddle because, like you said, they don't want it.
No, and they want their hands up where they can use them. And yeah. I think the best thing about that video is it shows that there are no breakouts. And did you see how the baby constantly had its hand in its mouth? And that is a natural reflex for babies. So it seems crazy that for centuries we have been trying to stop the baby from doing that. Yeah. And so the product is really intuitive to a baby's needs. Yeah. And yeah, it's been amazing. We've had like the response in the US to the product has been amazing, and it's because it really does help babies sleep for longer.
Yeah, it really does. It really does. Whenever we talk about it, we need to discuss why is it important to swaddle, and then, like you said, to have the hands up so that they can soothe. So first, let's talk for a moment about swaddling and why that helps to help a baby sleep.
Sure. Okay. So the American Academy of Pediatrics conducted a study of babies who were asleep while swaddled and babies who slept while unswaddled, and they compared the two. And the study absolutely found that babies who are swaddled sleep better, meaning they sleep for longer periods of time. And that's why it's important to swaddle your baby if you want to have increased hours of sleep. Also, swaddling for a baby, everybody talks about how it's reminiscent of the womb, which probably is one thing, but what swaddling actually does, it activates a set of sensors in the baby's body, which is called proprioception. And when you activate proprioception, it's soothing. And proprioception is activated when you have gentle compression to the joints and muscles.
Right.
So, for example, when Joe comes and gives you a hug,
yes,
it feels calming and soothing. Yes. Because there's gentle compression to your joints and muscles. And it releases oxytocin and all sorts of beautiful things. And swaddling has the same effect.
Right.
So to help a baby sleep, a newborn, so from birth, swaddle your baby. Yeah. But make sure you're swaddling safely, and we can go into that later.
Definitely. Yeah. The feeling of being held that way. What I always like to talk about when we talk about swaddling is that it's not a replacement for holding your baby. It's not a replacement for that hug that you just described, or the feeling the baby gets when mom or dad holds him or her, and why they're so calm when they're in your arms and they're feeling that pressure like you're describing. The swaddle is more to be able to have the baby feel that feeling while not in your arms. The baby can be put down to sleep and still feel that safety of that pressure and that comfortness. So I want to make that really clear, that it's not that the baby, because I've had people ask me, so should I swaddle instead of holding the baby? And I say no. Number one is hold your baby. Number two is use the swaddle so that you don't have to hold your baby when you're sleeping, which is where that becomes unsafe. And so you want to use the swaddle so that you get some sleep and so that the baby gets some sleep. And that's where it really works well. Really, really works well. I do want to also tell them about the prize up front tonight. There are some prizes to win, and I want them to go ahead and try something new. I'm going to try something new. I hope this works. So we're going to try something new right now. So you guys have all been getting your messages from me. Okay. Joe's giving me the thumbs up that it should be working. All right. So what I want you to do right now is if you want to enter to win, now there's a couple things. We're going to be going over some really great information, some research that Love to Dream and Hannah put together about the product that they've found from just polling the people who have used the product. And we're going to talk about that in a little while. There's a really great infographic that I'm going to give you to download, plus a link to be able to register and also a place to buy. And so I just want to say this right now. If you want to get that link or get that message, type info right now into the chat. Just info, I-N-F-O, okay? If you type info right now, you should get a message right into your inbox so that you can go over and link to it later. So let's try that. Everybody go ahead and type info. And then you could tell me if you got a message that came through, because then I'll know if it's working. Something new we're testing out here. Go ahead and tell. Oh, Kate, how did I know you'd be the first one? All right. Yes, type info. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, watch what's going on in the chat and just follow along because they're doing it right. Type info and then let me know if you get a message. I want to know. Okay. It works. Yay. They're telling me it works. Fabulous. Fabulous. Okay, good. So what you'll get there is you'll get the download of the infographic about Love to Dream. You'll also get a link to be able to purchase the products, and you'll also get a link to make sure that you're registered to win tonight. We have 4 winners tonight. 2 people will be winning the Love to Dream original, and that's the original. My doll has a little bit of crazy hair, but this is the original. What is the age for the original, Hannah?
So we've got 3 stages in our sleep system. Stage 1 is what you're holding, which is swaddle up, and the original fabric, which is a transseasonal fabric. So this is great for babies from newborn until just before they start to roll. So anywhere from kind of 4 months onwards is the usual time babies start rolling, but some do roll earlier, so you have to be aware. Then stage 2 is the 50-50 product, which is...
I've got that too here.
Oh, you got that as well? And you see that the wings zip off, so this is a transition from swaddling product, which we'll talk about a little later.
Yeah. Yep, so that's the 50-50. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be giving away 2 of the original and 2 of the 50-50 tonight. How cute are they? 2 of the 50-50, and you just have to register and make sure that you registered there. And then I just want to see some comments in the live stream at some point tonight. Tell me which one you'd be interested in, which one you want to win, and why you love it, and why you're excited about it. You should all be excited about it. Oh, somebody said, Jamie has angry baby and I have sleepy baby. Yes.
I also have
very, see, this is what the baby does when they're wearing a Love to Dream swaddle up.
Yeah, they're not angry, they're sleepy.
They're not angry. They're not, we don't have any angry babies in the Love to Dream swaddle ups. Okay, great. So back to what we were discussing before, as far as why babies like to be swaddled and why that feeling is important and why it helps them to sleep. I want to talk a little bit about the Moro reflex and what that means for a baby and why they startle. It's that startle reflex in the baby. Do you want to talk about it?
Sure. Yeah. So all babies have a startle reflex when they're born. And what that is this. It's like they have a fright and they startle. But it's not because they've had a fright. It's actually a natural built-in reflex that helps a baby rouse themselves from falling into a sleep that's too deep. And so that's one of the physiological reasons for the startle reflex or the Moro reflex. So it's really, really important that you do not suppress that reflex entirely. You can calm the reflex, which is what swaddle up does, because it's still snug here around the arms, but they do have movement. So when you're strapping a baby's arms to their body really tight, that's actually really not safe at all. So all the SIDS prevention organizations recommend that you do not swaddle too tightly.
Yes. Yes. And that makes so much sense. And it's why this product is so different than every other swaddle that I've ever seen. I mean, there's many reasons why, but the main thing is because the baby still has freedom of movement. And although they feel the pressure that you're talking about, they're in a natural position and they're able to move. So we're not suppressing that Moro or startle reflex completely. And like you said earlier, they're able to bring their hand to their mouth. They're able to come midline and put their hand to their mouth to stroke their cheek, to suck on their hands and create that self-soothing behavior that babies need as well to keep them in a more, from less of a deeper sleep as well.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
And do you think this is a good time to chat about our study that we did?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. I actually have something to bring up here for you so that you can see it right on screen. Hold on one second. Okay. Okay, great.
Okay. So
let's see, where did I start? Let's start over here. Can you see it?
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Okay, great.
So, love to dream. It would be amazing if all of you guys who are watching tonight could go on to our social media and like us and follow us.
Yes, absolutely. They're tagged right here in the post, so you'll be able to just click right over to their Facebook and like them there.
Okay, amazing. So what we did is we went out to our social media following and we asked the people on our page to submit a survey. And 1,242 people replied to our survey.
Oh, wow.
Yes, amazing.
Awesome.
And these are the results. So with stage 1, which is our swaddle up product, so the swaddle product we've been discussing, 83% of the 1,200 people surveyed said that swaddle up contributes to more sleep for them every night. And wow. And the thing is that there's just this brand new study that's come out in the UK which shows that new parents lose up to 2.9 hours of sleep every single night, which is 44 days in a year. So now you know why you feel so horrible.
Oh yeah. It's a lot of sleep.
It's a lot of sleep. And when we asked our consumers to quantify the amount of sleep they thought they were getting more than before the baby was swaddled was an average of 3.83 hours a night.
Wow.
So that takes that baby to sleeping around 7.5 hours a night.
Wow.
So
and they didn't mean that like straight. It just meant as a cumulative amount of sleep, of hours of sleep they're getting. That
Correct.
means the baby woke to feed and was able to be put back down quicker.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So, it's not that they've had 8 hours straight necessarily. Some do. Yes. And we have many, many thousands of reports of babies who actually sleep through the night once they go into this swaddle. But that's not really the aim. The aim is to increase the amount of sleep time between waking.
Yes.
And that's what the survey showed. It was amazing.
Wow. Let's see, what else is here? Okay, so what was this here?
This was that 99% of those people who were surveyed would actually recommend the products to their friends. And that is unbelievable testimonial.
It is unbelievable. It is unbelievable. I mean, that's just right there as the testimony to how well it's working, because we're only going to refer things to our friends and our family if we've had success with it. And it's what I see on my page too when we do giveaways or I talk about the products. Everybody just comes out and says how much they love it. If they've used it, they love it.
Yeah.
And what was this?
100% love.
100%. I love this. This is very cute. Okay, fantastic. Yeah, and everybody just got, if they typed info in the chat here, which many of them did, and they're doing right now, they're going to have the whole infographic there. So they'll get this to be able to look at, and they'll also get all the links that they need for tonight. So
Thank
that
you.
way you don't have, nobody has to copy. This was a way so that nobody has to copy any URLs or click on anything. You do not need to leave us. It's all going to be right in your inbox waiting for you. As soon as we're done, you can click over and register in case you didn't register for the prize. Fantastic. There was a question that came in from one of our viewers. Maybe we can answer that right now as we're going to talk a little bit about sleep safety and how this helps with safety. Pat posted a question saying that she's concerned about SIDS. Are these sleep suits safe? Can a baby overheat in them?
Great question. Okay. So these sleep suits or swaddles are much safer than using a blanket, because what happens is, first of all, you zip it up. So there's nothing that can come undone or unravel.
Mm-hmm.
It's cinched here under the arms, which means the chances of it riding up are very, very slim. Whereas with a swaddle blanket or other swaddles with Velcro and, wrapping bits and pieces, that the chances are that they can actually unravel, undo, and ride up. So that's eliminated. Then you'll see that when a baby's lying on their back, they'll stand up, and we say babies have to sleep on their backs, everybody, at all times. When a baby tries to roll, this elbow and arm up position actually helps stop them from rolling.
Right.
It helps inhibit the rolling. But if they do roll over, at least they have access to their hands to be able to try and push their head up from the mattress. If a baby's arms are bound to their body like this, and they try to roll, they just roll.
Right.
Because there's nothing to stop them. And also their arms are strapped to their body, so they can't use them to lift their head or try to roll back. So I hope that shows you why this product is so much safer. Also, yes, in regards to the overheating question, this product is one layer of fabric all the way around. Only one. Mm-hmm. If you're wrapping in a muslin, for example, you will have up to 8 layers of fabric.
Hannah, just speak a little bit louder. I just hope they can hear you because this is so important. I just want to make sure that they can hear.
Okay, should I go through? I might do that again. Should I do that again?
No, just that last part. Talk about the idea of one layer of fabric and just talk a little bit louder.
Okay, so all the way around the baby, there is only one layer of fabric anywhere. See?
Yes.
So when you are wrapping in a muslin, for example, you have to wrap many, many times to get rid of all the fabric. So you can have up to 8 layers of fabric, which gets really thick and can get hot.
Yep.
So in this, there's only one layer. Also, it's available in different weights of fabric. So this is the original fabric, which is kind of for most temperature ranges. But then we have the light, which is a very, very, very thin cotton.
It's like paper thin. It's so nice because it provides that same tension and positioning without providing any extra weight, and that's so important for. I know when I'm working with all the moms, especially in the southern states through the summer, it's just too hot to put anything on the baby, and this is so lightweight. It's great.
Yeah, and we live in Australia, which is super hot.
Yeah.
So we all use the light throughout the warm months. So it's Swaddle Up Light, and it's available all over the US.
Yeah.
And that's an amazing product. And also we have one that's warm, really warm. So it's got a quilted blanket on the front. There you go. And that's quilted bamboo.
It's so comfortable and soft.
And beautiful and breathable.
Yes.
And it only comes up to the chest, as you can see, that quilted part, which is the grey bit, only comes up to chest height. So it helps reduce the risk of the baby overheating, even when you're trying to keep them really warm.
Yeah, yeah. This part here is nice and lightweight, and this is nice and thick. And this comes in, this you have in your original and also in the 50/50. right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super nice. All right, awesome. Awesome. Yeah, I mean, I don't think people really think about it too much when that the whole wrapping and the layering portion of it. And it's really important to, if you're not aware, I mean, there's several different things you want to do to help keep your baby safe while they're sleeping. Hannah touched on a few of them, which is to make sure that they're sleeping on their back, to make sure that they're not overheating. And so it's really, these are the features that are going to help your baby to stay on their back, that's going to help them to not overheat. When a baby gets too hot and also too cold, that's actually a risk for SIDS. And so you want them just right. You really do want them just right. And that's why picking the appropriate weight on the blanket or the swaddle or the love to dream, the swaddle up is going to be really important. And don't just use the same one all year. If it is cold, make sure the baby's staying warmer. If it is warm, make sure that you're keeping cool.
Yes, because the aim is actually to eliminate blankets or anything in the crib altogether.
Right.
Blankets are dangerous. Toys in the crib are dangerous. Comforters, comforters. Is that what you guys call them?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, perfect.
So I just want to give the audience some information. So on our packaging, this is what our packaging looks like.
Mm-hmm.
On the back, there's a really great table that shows you what clothing to wear underneath the swaddle at different temperatures. So I know this is a really confusing topic for mums, and we've made it really, really simple. So if you're searching online for the product, you'll be able to find the temperature tables to help you decide which is the best for your temperature in the baby's room.
Right. And really, I mean, you could just have, I guess if it was too hot, you really could just put the light on the baby with a diaper, and they really don't need to have anything else on them.
Yeah.
If it was that hot.
Yeah.
But if it's that hot in the room, you really need to reconsider where the baby's sleeping. Even though you're putting something lightweight on the baby, the temperature in the room should not get too hot. So just make sure that you're paying attention to that. Now that we're moving into winter here on this side of the world, we're thinking about the coolness now. But
yeah, it's much better. Like, the advice is to have the room temperature cool. Actually,
yeah.
Don't heat it up so that it's really warm, because that's not safe.
No.
So I don't know what it is in Fahrenheit.
It's like 68 degrees, around 68 is about where you want to keep it.
Okay.
Yeah. Fantastic. All right, great. Did we finish covering all of the soothing, self-soothing? I don't think we really did talk about it completely. One thing I want to say about self-soothing is, it's what helps the baby to put themselves back to sleep. And when their arms are free, they will keep moving their hands to their mouth. And that is a way that your baby can learn how to not necessarily need you to do that for them. And that is the problem with the traditional swaddles, really. It is a big problem with it. And when you watch a baby that's not bound, that they have their hands available to them, that's where they keep their hands, and that's what they do. And if you look at a baby in the womb, that's where their hands are in the womb. Babies are, for at least the first 3 months of their life, they are looking for those womb kind of sensations, which include the pressure against all parts of their body. Their knees are bent up to their belly, which gives them that belly pressure, which that's what this does and why it's tight through the middle here. You want that pressure, especially around the abdomen. And that's what the baby's used to in the womb. And also the hands near the mouth.
Yeah.
Babies don't have a lot of control over their hands. If you watch a newborn, they want to put their hand to their mouth, and then they'll kind of fling it away too. And I find that with the Love to Dream, with the Swaddle Up, it actually keeps their hands closer, because they kind of do this and they flail. Even though they want to keep their hands near their mouth, sometimes they can't. And you try to see it when a baby's actually sucking on their hand and then they pull it out of their mouth. It's because they don't have a lot of control.
Yeah. When I was trawling through all of the medical research I could find, it was really interesting to see that occupational therapists who specialize in infant development say you should never swaddle a baby without access to their hands.
Mm-hmm.
And it's part of their sucking, is part of their non-nutritive sucking,
yes.
which is sucking while not feeding,
yes.
is really, really important to their development. Through sucking, they learn about texture, they learn about everything in their environment. That's why babies and toddlers put everything in their mouth, because that's the first way they learn, rather than through speech or it's tactile.
Right.
So sucking while swaddle is important for their development, but it's also so soothing for them. That's why for centuries we've been using pacifiers.
Right.
Because we take their hands away and then we give them a pacifier.
Right.
So instead, give them their hands to use as a quasi-pacifier,
yes.
and they will learn to self-soothe, which is what you were saying, and not need the parent to do it for them,
yes.
which means more sleep.
Yes, more sleep. And on top of that too, the self-soothing and the sucking patterns that babies do, these are all feeding cues as well. So babies will come out of sleep and sometimes be able to soothe themselves back to sleep, and other times it's actually them starting to give those subtle, feeding cues where they'll start smacking their lips, moving their mouths, sticking their tongues out, and bringing their hands to mouth. By being able to use a product that allows the baby to do that, you won't miss some of those signs as well. So they'll actually wake to eat. And it's really important, especially when you're breastfeeding, to make sure that you're feeding the baby frequently and often, and not trying to delay the feedings. Do the feedings frequently. Allow the baby to get that time on the breast, because not only do they need to eat frequently, but they also need that sucking action to keep the milk flowing and to make sure that your supply is good. And then in between, being able to sleep in between those feedings. So being able to see that the baby's using those motions is a really great sign.
Yeah, it's such an important part to get to know your baby and start to read what they actually want, which is such a difficult thing to do. So if they have their hands, then you can start.
Yeah, they can actually make the motions that they need to make, and you can kind of see. And just as you figure them out, they'll change. So they'll be different, and they'll grow, and they'll need to actually move into the next stage. Let's talk a little bit about why would a baby need to be switched into the 50-50. Earlier, you demonstrated how the 50-50 zips off, and so the sleeve comes completely off. And how do we know when it's time to release the arms and move in to this?
Sure, great. So it is important to stop swaddling your baby or transition them out of swaddling into arms-free sleep just before they start to roll.
Mm-hmm.
And most babies roll between 4 and 6 months. So, but what we do is when you're playing with your baby and it's awake time, you're always watching your baby. So if they look like they're starting to do this, that's the time to transition them. So because developmentally they're starting to move.
Yeah.
So let them do that. It's great. It's great for their development, and it's safer if they're starting to roll that they're no longer swaddled. So what we've done is
Hannah, hold on one second. I want to answer somebody in the chat room real quick. So they're all struggling with this info. Okay. So here, let me just go over what to do here so that you all know. You're going to type info here in the chat. And then when you get the message, which I want you to do after the chat, when you get the message, you have to type info again, right?
I don't think it's giving them. Sending them to your welcome.
Why?
I don't know.
Huh.
But they'll still probably get tagged.
Okay, so it may not be sending you to the right thing, which means that if you did it, I will send it out to you later tonight, all right? So don't worry about it. If you typed info and you got the welcome message, don't worry about it. You still have to follow through and subscribe. What is that? So does it allow them to type info again? Sorry, Hannah.
It's okay.
Is that what it says? I created all kinds of confusion here.
It's function input info.
Okay.
When we do that, it sends them to basic welcome.
Okay.
But that subscribes into, so I don't know if this is a function if they weren't subscribed or.
Okay. When we're done tonight, I'm going to figure out who typed info, and we'll make sure that you get the message so that you have all the links that you need. If you didn't get the link for joining the to register for the prizes tonight, you just have to go to bit.ly/enter-me-to-win. Joe's going to go ahead and post that right now. We'll make this very simple for you. You'll just have to register for it, and that's it, okay? And then I'll make sure everybody gets your message tonight, gets the messages tonight. I have to look at what happened. I don't know. So we're using a new service. Tonight was the first time we were doing it live, so hopefully we can figure out what happened here. Back to what you were saying. Sorry to interrupt.
I can't remember what I was saying.
We were talking about the transition from the swaddle up original to the 50-50 and when the baby starts to roll.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you transition just before the baby starts to roll. So you have to be really conscious of what your baby's doing during playtime or sleep time. And if you see that they're moving, starting to kind of lean from their back towards their tummy, that's the time to transition them. What happens is that babies really, really love being swaddled. So if you take a baby who is swaddled and take them out and put them in their crib or bassinet to go back to sleep, they will say, "Hey, where's my swaddle? I'm not going to sleep now," and I might yell at you for a while. So what we did, we created a system that helps transition the baby much more slowly and easily than just letting them be free.
Yes.
So you zip off one wing and this arm is out for 1 sleep, 2 sleep, 3 days, however long it takes. And then you take off the second wing. And the baby, and I'll do that now, take the wing off completely, hide it away in a drawer so it's safe and out of the way. And you can see it's still snug here in the torso. So the baby's arms are free, but they still feel like they're swaddled here in the torso. So it's reminiscent of swaddling, but now the baby is fully transitioned. And you see, they end up in a sleeping bag that you can keep using until the baby grows out of it.
Yep.
And this product is called the Swaddle Up 50-50, and it's also available in the lightweight fabric, which is the light, in the trans-seasonal fabric, which is the original, and in the warm.
Right. So great. And you had told us last time that it's best to, like you were saying, it's best to try to do it when they're sleeping, to take their arm out.
Yeah, some babies are really easy to transition and some babies are a little more challenging. Mm-hmm. And so for those that are really struggling to transition, we suggest that you put your baby to sleep with both wings on.
Yes.
And then watch them to make sure they are not rolling. Okay. Yes. But then when they're asleep, you take off one wing. And then they start to kind of feel the freedom and that it's okay. And that seems to help parents transition more difficult babies.
Awesome. Yeah, and if you have questions that you want to post, I see there people are asking some questions, and they had posted earlier too, a bunch of questions. I'm actually following up this Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern with a sleep Q&A. So that way we can talk about some of the specific sleep issues that some of you are having. I have Rebecca Mickey, sleep consultant, on with me this Friday. So if you have questions that didn't get answered, don't worry. Just post them for us, and I will go through the chat and also on the promotion here that we did earlier to just look at your questions. We'll cover them this Friday. I just want to make sure everybody knows that, to make sure that they join us. I also want, Hannah, for you to talk a little bit about the older products you have for older children as they graduate out of the 50-50. What's next? Because there are so many moms who are using the product, and then I realize they don't really even know about that they can go to even to the next stage. So it is really a 3-stage system, and I'd love for you to talk about the next stage.
Sure. I mentioned earlier that Love to Dream want to eliminate blankets in the cot. So they're just dangerous. So no parent should be using any blankets. So what we've developed are some wearable blankets that are different. And why they're special is there is one called the Nuzzlin, and it's very, very, very lightweight. Let me see.
Hannah's in her creativity room there.
This is a slightly different design, but you'll get the picture. So you can see it's nice and long, so it fits babies all the way up to 3 years of age, which means
that's awesome.
Yes, so you can keep your child, and you can see the fabric is super thin, so you can see my fingernails through it.
Yeah.
But the baby still feels like they've got a blanket on, but it's much safer than using a blanket. Then we have another product called the Inventor, where you can unzip these mesh vents that if you feel that your baby's getting too hot, you can unzip those vents to let air in and help the air circulate, which means that parents can do that rather than doing unsafe things like opening the sleeping bag partially, which becomes an entanglement hazard.
Yes.
So we just design product that will help a baby sleep better, but absolutely sleep safer.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, having the sleep sack too, I've had moms tell me that it helps so that the child doesn't climb out of the crib as well.
That's correct. Yes.
Yeah. So there's multiple safety aspects to it. If your child is starting to try to flip a leg over, which they start to do, they're really not able to do that with this on.
Yeah, that's right. And if they do manage, then it's time to transition them into a bed.
Exactly. Then we've got other issues. For sure. No, I love the Inventa and I love the Nuzzlin. There's when you see these products in person or when you actually hold them, they're very luxurious. I mean, that's what I have to say about the whole line and the fabrics and the material that you use. Everything's very soft and luxurious and really well made, and the way that everything's thought through so well. I think that's one of the aspects of the line that I love so much. The way that the seams are sewn, the way that the zipper opens from top and bottom so that you can change a baby's diaper and you're not taking them out. The way that it folds over the zipper so it's not scratching them at their neck. There's just a lot of really great details.
You know, being a mum and knowing how expensive it is to have a baby, what we wanted to do was create a product that is able to be worn by baby number 1, baby number 2, baby number 3.
Right.
So that's why the products are an amazing quality, and we pay really serious attention to the safety aspects. For example, see, all the seams are actually on the outside. There's no seams that are inside and pressing against the baby's skin. This part where we hide the zipper under this little zipper house, but you can see it's all beautifully finished in here with no overlocking that's showing. So we reduce the risk of threads coming undone and wrapping around a baby's finger or toe.
Yes.
Inside here, see the metal part of the zipper is there? So inside, we never wanted the metal to touch the baby, so we covered it with this special piece. So the make of this product is really beautiful, and it is really thinking about baby safety. Another thing about the arms up, actually, is because the baby's arms are away from their body, the feedback is that babies who suffer from eczema, this actually helps them to stop them from scratching. And the baby stays cooler because the arms are not against their body. So it's not a place where they get sweaty and hot and irritated.
Right.
So we actually know that the products are good for babies with sensitive skin.
So true. You know, I think that there are so many things you can purchase. I mean, let's face it, parents have lots of choices. And when you look at some of them, you can see that they're just not thought through well. They're made to be made less expensively. They're cutting corners, and that's one thing that when your baby's spending that many hours sleeping in a product, you really, it's just like you take the time with your car seats, you take the time with your breast pumps, you take the time with things that are going to matter, like it's creating safety for a child, you know, and sleeping is one of those times where we need to create the safest environment. The products that you use, are super important to like look at and say, did they think this through? I mean, is there anything on this that would not be comfortable or safe? And if that's the case, you want to find something else. You want to look for the products that really are going to keep your baby comfortable and safe.
Yeah.
And that's how they'll be happy and they'll be healthy, and that's the end result that we're looking for. But yeah, when you look at, there's nothing on this that I've ever found that hasn't been thought through. I mean, someone even said to me, I think forgot who was telling me that the zipper doesn't have a hole in it either.
Correct.
Or can you explain that? Because I was like, oh, even that. Explain that.
Yeah. There was some incidents a few years ago in the US where another sleeping products brand has the hole in the zipper. And somehow the baby managed to get that zipper into their mouth, and that hole went around the baby's tooth, and the baby actually kicked their legs out and pulled their tooth out. So we saw that, and we were like, okay, that's never going to happen with ours. So we actually re-engineered all of our zipper heads to not have that hole, to make sure that it's safe. So,
and that's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. It's like the things that they've thought of so that you don't have to, really.
Correct.
You know, this is not, this zipper without a hole is not called out on the packaging to say we don't have holes on that, but it was thought through for you so that one child had to go through that, your child would not have to. And that's what I love so much about what you've done here, Hana. It's just amazing what you've created. And we were talking earlier and saying, you know, how proud you must feel to just know that you're changing lives all over the world. I mean, really, for moms and dads and babies to get more sleep. It's such an important thing. It's such an important thing that and you can see why they're such fans, because it's working like that, it's actually changing their life.
Yeah. And it's really, really rewarding, but also having been through sleeplessness and terrible effects from the sleeplessness of my first child, I know what it feels like. So everything that I develop and design comes from a place of real love and desire to help other mums and dads and carers just get more sleep and yes, more sanity in their day.
Yeah, I mean, that too is a safety issue. When you're so sleep deprived as a new parent, just driving a car, just doing regular things can be dangerous from such lack of sleep. Totally. So, you know, the product in itself, if it's giving parents more sleep, which we showed you before, they're reporting twice as much sleep from all those that you pulled. That's going to be a safety aspect as well.
Absolutely. And something unrelated to Swaddle Up, but I feel compelled to say it because we're safe sleep crazy over here, is as tempting as it is to sleep with your baby, don't sleep with your baby. Swaddle them up and put them in the bassinet next to you or in the crib next to you. But yeah, when you're really tired, really, really tired, unsafe things can happen.
Yeah. Thank you for saying that. Absolutely. And, you know, use something that's going to help the baby to sleep more so that you're not trying to sit up and hold the baby or sit on a couch or sit on a chair. That too is where most accidents do happen. And you want to just find other ways to support yourself, which is finding a swaddle that will work to help the baby sleep longer. Someone's mentioning here too how sleep deprivation, Kate's saying, yeah, it helps with, it causes postpartum depression too. Yeah. And so it's not just for your baby. We know that. Okay, this is not just about your baby. It's about yourself and your own health. And recovery and everything else that goes with it. So, important things, really important things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can tell you that I was a sufferer of postpartum depression because of the horrendousness that I experienced from the lack of sleep and just a crying baby and not really knowing how to soothe him and help him. And it was just horrible. So when my second kid came along, it was a dream because I had swaddle up.
Yeah, well, I don't know where you were when I had mine, but I didn't have a swaddle up, and it was not easy. It was not easy. I don't know what I was thinking, actually. I wasn't swaddling, I was just up all the time.
Yeah. Just trying to wing it like all of us.
Everybody always says, "Oh, you must have had it so easy because you knew about all these things." I'm like, "No, you don't understand. I didn't know about all these things. I was delivering babies and I was clueless what to do with them once I brought them home."
Totally. Oh my God. I remember when I had my son, they gave him to me and I didn't know what to do with him.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we drove home from the hospital. I had been a labor and delivery nurse and a midwife for years when we had our first, almost 16 years ago. My oldest daughter is going to be 16 in January. Oh my God.
Wow.
So I know it's crazy. So when we came home, I still remember the car ride home with Joe, and I kept looking in the back seat, taking like a double take to like really let my mind take in the fact that they were letting me take one home. After all those years, it felt odd and it felt almost wrong. Like, why am I taking this baby out of the hospital? It was so strange. And Joe kept looking at me and saying, "Well, at least you know what to do." And I kept saying, "No, I don't know what to do with them once they hit 2 days old. I don't ever see them after that."
Totally. Oh my gosh. Well, that's comforting to hear,
But that was the whole reason for doing what I do now, is just, all the things I wish I had known. And I always say, if I didn't know this stuff, with all the training and all the exposure that I had to babies and to, the information, if I didn't know it, then most people will not know it unless they are exposed to it.
It's so true, because when you're pregnant, you're so focused on the birth. And
Absolutely.
I was absolutely like the baby. I mean, it didn't even matter I was having a baby. I just wanted this amazing birth and blah, blah, blah. And then you get this thing and you don't know what, and this is why what you do is so amazing, because you're teaching new mums what to do when they go home. Because how do you know? You don't know.
You don't.
So,
And that's what's so good. But
we love you. You're amazing.
Oh, well, I love you too, and I love them so much. I mean, I don't know who's happier, me or them, to have this, to be able to do this, honestly. All I want to do is find more ways to support them. I want to find more and more ways to support them, and being a mom myself, and even now, each age that your child grows, there's new stages and new things to learn, and I'm always learning. I may know about babies and young children, and now I'm starting to learn about teenagers and what I have to deal with now. And so we're all kind of learning together, and that's the thing I love so much about having social media and the internet. It's something that I didn't have just 13 years ago or 16 years ago. We didn't have it, and so it's a great tool. And when we can use it in a way where we can really get real expert advice, and that's sometimes hard to find.
Yeah, and I think because you've been through it all, and because of your amazing qualifications, the advice you give is really kind and gentle and, really works.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we have the best guests. I find the best experts, and that's part of my job too, is just to bring them the amazing experts and information so that they can keep on learning. We have some really great stuff coming up. I know they've been waiting patiently for the last couple months, but we're about to launch a beautiful membership site where everybody can work with me if they want to closer. So that means we won't be public here on Facebook with 100,000 people, but it'll be in a more private environment where we'll have other special guests, where we'll be able to learn and answer questions and work more into like a private group, and that's what we're about to do. And plus, you'll have access to my library, which has over 800 videos and all the classes. So
Wow.
it'll be a really great opportunity, and I hope that people are going to join us. I love doing this, and I'm just grateful that I get to do it every day. So.
Amazing.
And I'm so grateful for amazing partners like you, Hannah, and everyone from Love to Dream. Thank you for joining me tonight. I'm so happy that you were here. I'm so happy everybody got to see it. Did everybody enjoy it? Did you all learn something? Yes. Okay. Fantastic. Yeah. They're all waiting. So yeah, I want to make sure that you all get what you need. Try it one more time. Type info in the chat here. And I think one of the things you might have to do is once you get over to the next section, when it messages you, I think you have to type info again. If you type info again, what? Some people got it, some people didn't. So then it wasn't me. It did work. It did work, not just not for everyone. So go ahead and try it again. Type info again when you get there, and you'll hopefully get it. If not, I'll be posting it here so everybody can see the download, okay? Hannah, thank you again.
Thank you so much.
We'll definitely have you back soon, hopefully.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye, everyone. Don't forget, Friday afternoon, 5 p.m., we'll be doing all the questions, okay? So Rebecca will be joining us to answer all your sleep questions. Go ahead and post them to me. And join me at 5 p.m. on Friday, okay? Have a good night, everyone. Mwah. Bye.